God blimey, chaps. I'm stuck at London XL here. I'm covered in cardboard. I'm just just living on the street outside XL. I just don't want to go. I don't want to leave here. I love it so much.
Why? What was on?
Guys, first of all, you've dragged me into a TARDIS. I was holding on for dear life. You've cut off all the wristbands I've got on my arm. You pulled me out of my lanyard.
I was going to say dragging you by the lanyard.
We frisked you to make sure it wasn't you that stole the hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of memorabilia.
And if it was me, I wouldn't say.
You wouldn't say, would you?
Yeah, guys, it's lovely to see you both. We've just survived Star Wars Celebration 2023, and it was immense. It was epic. It was
everything you hoped for, because that's the key.
I tell you what, guys, it's my happy place.
Brilliant.
It is so good, and it is just what was really great this year was I got to enjoy it with lots of different friends as well. So that was really cool. Like lots of different people that I know, bumped into, and all hung out with. Super, super cool. Chris, you went, Chris?
I did go. Not my first time to the XL, but it's definitely my first time to Star Wars Celebration. And having been to the XL before to MCM, it showed how much of a step above Star Wars Celebration is. How much more effort they put into the ambience around the stalls. The connective tissue of props and memorabilia and people. I mean, the people were everywhere, but everybody was in such a good mood. Everybody was so happy. Everybody was taking photos of each other. The people who stole all of that stuff were clearly very happy. I will say, do you remember the place being closed down for that? Because I heard that they locked all the doors and they wouldn't let anyone out. I had no idea that was going on. But
I think Mickey and Jenny said they saw something.
No, I loved it. I loved every minute of it. I loved that I was there with you, Cole, and I got to meet some of your friends. They were really lovely people. And just got to meet Rosario Dawson. That was fantastic. There was loads of stuff. I'll go into more of it, but it was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I think I honestly do think Star Wars Celebration is the best convention I've ever been to out of all of them. Not necessarily particularly this one, but the way that they run Star Wars Celebration, I think, is an absolute top bar. It helps that, as you all know, Star Wars is like my number one thing. But it's like Chris said, it's so focused, it's so dedicated.
That can bring more pressure though. When you love it so much, it can bring more pressure to meet your expectations on it, and I'm really happy that it did.
Yeah, but it doesn't because I guess it's Star Wars that I love. It's not the convention, but the convention is always amazing. It always cool through because it's got so many aspects to it. I mean, I don't know. I haven't been to any other con that has such a wealth of panels of all varieties. You've got the massive, big, like San Diego level Hall H type panels, when they're launching new series and films and stuff like that. And then you've got like podcast panels, you've got behind the scenes panels, you've got all the, publishing, toys, you've got all of it. Every aspect of a brand effectively is represented. You've got a kids area and a kids zone panel area. As I say, it's just so much there. And I know a lot of people moan, especially British people,
and Star Wars fans.
And they always pick holes in it. But I honestly was there for 4 days. I was not bored for a single minute. There was so much I didn't fit in, and all I'm thinking about is all the things I didn't get a chance to do, because there was just so much. There was just so much.
As well as I do, and knowing when we've been in cons, and my barometer of how much you're enjoying it is the limited pictures you posted throughout the day, because I was like, he is busy, he is super busy, he is on it, he's doing stuff, he's got something happening that will be taking his time, and that's all. The social media thing is, I'll stop, I'll post loads of pictures. Or if I'm distracted by stuff, I'll cheer myself up by posting loads of pictures of what I'm doing at this time as well. We need to let everyone know. And you did it. And that was almost my barometer of how strict you were with 3 a day. I think I was like, wow.
Mate, I've got stacks of stuff just to post. I haven't even unpacked all the merch I bought yet. It's just insane. Chris, what was your highlights of the con? What things did you see and enjoy?
To be honest, I think the highlight for me was dressing up and the attention that my costume got. So brilliant. For the people at home, I left it really late, and I effectively bought this cheap grey wig and grey beard off of Amazon for about 15 quid, and then trimmed it so that I looked like George Lucas. And the amount of attention that got, I must have had 150 photos taken over 2 days, non-stop. And it seemed like quite a unique costume, because I think I only saw maybe 2 or 3 others.
I see why. All the millions of people that I follow, and I follow, because I've got 3 different Instagram accounts. There's all the toy stuff, then there's all the cosplayer stuff, then there's all the celebrity stuff. I've seen one other George Lucas. He had a red check shirt on. That's the only other one.
Yeah, that's the one I saw.
So I think you pretty much sewed up that market, my friend, for George Lucas cosplaying.
Pretty much. And on all of the groups that I'm in, all of the photos that I seem to see of someone saying they met George Lucas, they're all photos of me as well. It's really bizarre.
I didn't see lots of cardboard cosplay either.
Yeah, it didn't need to be. But no, I loved it. But yeah, it was that. It was the meeting new people and talking to people, and the conversations that the costume I was wearing created. And I loved our photo op, with Rosario Dawson. She was lovely, wasn't she? She loved our costumes, especially your Admiral Akbar. She went crazy for. So
they always do. It's almost like he does it on purpose to solicit attention.
Yeah. Attention whore.
It was that. I'll tell you what. One of the other things, it was just the organisation. And I'd seen some people moaning about how busy it was and how many queues there were. But the way that the place is organised, and the way that queues are organised for photo opportunities, is so much more structured and quicker than any other con, in my opinion. And I have a limited experience of that. But yeah. I went to Liverpool, as you know, 2 weeks ago, and it was a free for all, trying to get photos, and you'll be waiting 2-3 hours. Whereas with our photo, they structure it in such a way that when you're getting into the queue, you're only 10 minutes away from your photo when you get into that queue, aren't you, effectively? Yeah. So I love the way that it's run. It was very, very busy, but it didn't bother me, just because there's so much to see above head high. You just don't know. You can't go to that con
and complain about being busy. You cannot go to Star Wars. It's like, I've never been to I've never been to San Diego Comic Con. You can't complain how busy it is. You surely know what you're getting into before you get there. So that for me is never a valid complaint. You're quite right. You could complain about the organisation or how they set things up, or this was a bit of a S show or whatever. But you can't. No one's got any right to complain about it being busy at the biggest con for a particular brand in the world. You just can't do it.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, loved it. I didn't get much merch. I was a bit gutted. I was hoping the Indiana Jones Adventure Series figures would be there. They weren't. Although Mickey and Jenny said they saw someone selling them, but I couldn't find. I bought this T-shirt, this Chewbacca T-shirt that the listeners can't see.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
A couple of bits and pieces.
But not Mickey saw some Indiana Jones figures.
He said he found a store selling them.
He also saw General Grievous as well, didn't he? So we all know how that works out.
Yeah.
Well, this is it.
I blame him.
We did. I did see General Grievous there, and I was like, he's here. I knew it's the reveal. He did a massive photo op in the smoking area outside. I was like, no wonder he's coughing all the time.
Exactly. Poor passive smoking General Grievous.
I know. So yeah, that was what I got out of it. The atmosphere was just buzzing. It was electric and it was friendly, and that's what you want, really. And the panels were good. Oh well, the panel I did was great. Loved it.
Was there any one? I know millions and millions, but was there any one particular abiding standout for the pair of you that's like absolutely that was the one? That was the chef's kiss. of the whole thing. Any one ultimate standout? You're like, that's the one. You know.
I mean, so there were so many things. Like you could break it down. Like the panels. Like I say, there were so many amazing panels, and I was so lucky. I got Celebration stage tickets for the Lucasfilm Showcase panel. So it was 2 and a bit hours of every Star Wars property that's currently being made, cast coming onto the stage, showing us clips of things that isn't released, and so we had like Andor, Mandalorian cast, Ahsoka cast, Acolyte cast, Skeleton Crew cast. We had Daisy Ridley promoting the fact that she's going to be back for the new films. We had, like a Creature Workshop. We had Indiana Jones stuff. We had, it just blew my mind. I just couldn't believe it. And that was my first bit of the con. That was the first thing I did. It was just like insane. I literally every sort of big guest that was there was on the stage. It was just like, that was unbelievable. And what the biggest highlight for me, and this is insane, well, there's two, I guess, in terms of like Star Wars in general, is that seeing the footage of Ahsoka and seeing Sabine and Hera and Thrawn in live action was just, it's just weird. It blows my brain. And seeing Ahsoka fighting and just, it's just so mad. And then, but really what my biggest highlight was it's restored my faith that they know what they're doing.
Okay, it's good.
In that, I've been really, really worried. Like, I've been feeling that the TV shows so far were a bit of a fluke. In that, because they sort of messed up the films, didn't they? In some ways, they didn't have a clear plan. They didn't. Really
if they had a plan, they changed it and made it.
Yeah, and then they had Mandalorian, and that was a massive success and brilliant. And Boba Fett was good. Everyone's okay. And like they've had good shows, but again, it just felt very lucky. Like they didn't have this plan, but they put up on the wall on the presentation like the current, all the different eras of where they've been. From and it featured most the prequel era, the original trilogy era, and the new saga era. And basically what they were saying is now they've got 3 focus points. They've got different teams working in each of those 3 areas and how it's going to connect. And then basically you've got right in the middle, in this time zone of the Mandalorian, this sort of just after the original trilogy, you've got Dave Filoni leading that, and he's directing the films that's going to be in that era, and it's going to tie all of that era together. And I'm thinking there isn't a better person in the entire world to do that. Yeah. Absolutely so excited about that. Yeah. Then at the front end, obviously you've got Acolyte, which was something that's not on my radar. I didn't really know what it was. The footage from it is so me. It's just everything. It's Jedi's, it's Old Republic, it's Sith. Oh my god, it looks good, and that's supposedly the connective tissue between the High Republic and the new and the prequels. So that's going to set all of that and bring all that together, and that's being led by I can't remember the name of the producer. I've forgotten her name, sorry. And then you've got the other guy, John Watts, is it, leading
who's come off Spider-Man, and got Fantastic Four.
Dawn of the Jedi. Yeah, and he's guiding also the Skeleton Crew.
Yeah, that's a big name.
And so, he's actually designing the Dawn of the Jedi, which is how the Jedi started, which is a completely untouched so far. Yeah. So that's amazing. And then the biggest surprise of it all, because everyone's been sort of slating and saying, oh, Disney's going to retcon everything and change it all and forget that the last saga happened. They basically announced, and these 3 words that made my pants explode, New Jedi Order. Now, one, that's just super cool.
It's going to be the keep of the broom.
Daisy's coming back as a Jedi Master, and she's going to restart the Jedi, which is just mind-blowing.
Yeah. How do you find out it's just the one kid who had the mop and bucket at the end of The Last Jedi? Just him.
Probably. But what so exciting though is, and they talked about the expanded universe. Dave Filoni on a separate thing has talked about how he loves the expanded universe. The woman, the lady that's leading up, Acolyte, I can never say the word, loves the extended universe, right? My favourite run of books in the extended universe are the New Jedi Order. So I'm not saying it's going to be the same, because it's definitely not. There's lots of different.
But they'll take some of the best source material and they'll use the best things, which is what you want.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm just like, I've really got my hopes up now, and I know we always say we shouldn't, but I'm like, this sounds.
Oh, I think you can have your hopes up now, and I base that on the fact that it's been, like you say, there's varying degrees of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan, Mandalorian, Andor, but they've all been good. All been good. Some been great. Some you think could be better, but they've all been good. I've enjoyed all of them, and I am that, dip in and dip out, not read the books or, too much comments, that sort of thing. So I think now they probably, whatever plan they had, they were like, that's not the plan anymore. And they've changed it while still being able to produce what they committed to in this phase. So I think now is the time to be confident, because it actually looks like they've actually got a structure. Because all it's been for the last 2 years is, well, like I remember asking the other week, is there going to be any more movies? Is anything going to happen on screen? And I think it's quite clear it is.
The biggest relief for me is they seem to have moved away from, there's a director we like, we're just going to give him 3 movies and they can do what they want. Because to me, that is not connected. That is not what I want from Star Wars. Yeah, I'm sure Star Wars is a big world, big universe, and you can do anything in it. But, and even within what the structure they've said, I'm happy for them to try new things and have different visions. But I don't want to waste 3 Star Wars films on someone's pet project. And so, getting rid of the Rian Johnson trilogy, getting rid of the Tika trilogy, getting rid of the Game of Thrones trilogy, you know what I mean? Bin all that shit off. Let's just have a really clear what we want to achieve with Star Wars, and then get the right people to do that.
And again, the model in modern cinema is out there, because again, not to use the MCU for everything, but here's a plan. Let's get the best people to deliver that element of the plan, but it still follows a through line, doesn't it?
100%. And it's stopping the tail wagging the dog. That I think that was what the Star Wars fell victim of. And then every time they realised it wasn't right, they had to reset.
True.
It was around about the same time that Star Wars was trying to implement 2 movies a year as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sure they'd said, and that's it. It was Star Wars. It was Star Wars overload, wasn't it? Because at least with something like the MCU, it is the subject matter is so differing. Whereas with Star Wars, it can be quite narrow and a little bit. It'll feel a little bit like repetition if you've seen 2 or 3 of those movies.
You're right. Although it is a massive universe with potential, actually it isn't, because the storytelling about the whole premise of Star Wars fits quite a neat compartment, doesn't it? It's the Empire, and it's the Rebellion, and it's the Jedi, and it's very much within that. It doesn't go into places like say, you can have the mystical MCU or the cosmic MCU or the grounded MCU or the big team up MCU or anything along those lines. You don't have that limit within. You don't have that. Star Wars is more restricted around that, so it is a trickier one.
Well, Star Wars to me, the film should be an event.
100%.
It should be an absolute event. I mean, I would even be happy with one film every 2 years, because I want them to be worth going to. I mean, obviously, a film a year would be probably the best solution, but because they can fill up with Disney Plus stories. This is the thing, they've got some amazing TV series already in the works or ready to go. And that Skeleton Crew, I mean, that's probably the one again that I was least bothered about, because it does sound a bit like Star Trek Prodigy. Right. It does, but they're trying to pitch it like an Amblin film, like a Goonies type film. I mean, I don't know. That's a high bar to try and get up against.
But it sounds like...
Sorry, little to say.
No, but it's like they're trying to do Star Wars for different groups of people, and I don't mind that. We want that. We want that film that's aimed at children, and film that's aimed at teens, and a film that's aimed at adults. And I appreciate that. Even though I won't get the same out of every film, I know that they're creating another generation of fans, which is exactly what their plan is. Because they need the new generation of fans, and you'll see those different types of movies. But it means that we'll still get an Andor. You know?
Yeah, exactly. So that's just like the general feel on the news and stuff that came out. I mean, there was a lot of the news was more around the actual individual series and like I say, the Ahsoka stuff and different series. But I guess personal highlights. I mean, as I said before, seeing all my mates there was great. I've got a shout out. You know, obviously I was there with Olaf and Betsy for pretty much the whole convention. It was wonderful to see both of them, and particularly after Betsy over from Chicago. Obviously, Chris and Jenny and Mickey were there. That was wicked. I had Melvin, Jason, Lauren, Jim. Saw all of them, so that was super cool. Jay, good old Jay. Wonderful.
I love that picture popping up on my timeline. You too.
Yeah. And Thomas, aka someone whose name I can't say, was there. That was brilliant to see him. There was a lot of brilliant people. Oh, Matt and Emma and Harley. Yeah, I've got a shout out to them. Yeah, there were just some really great people out there. So that was cool. That made it. That was brilliant. The photo ops were fantastic. I mean, I went crazy. I bought more there. I
tried, but they sold out.
Yeah, so I saw Ewan McGregor, and we all got the email the night before saying due to like him filming, we're going to put, instead of a glass thing in between us, so we're going to put an R2D2 in between us, and no one could cross over it, and that you can touch him and that kind of thing.
A master stroke to do that.
And so obviously he went in expecting not to get much, and he fucking loved the costume, and then gave me a fist bump. So I was like, okay, we're touching. So that was cool, and so that was good. Hayden Christensen,
Cold weather shook your claw.
Yeah, Cole Weathers. I mean, again, the man, he's just amazing. Shook my hand and then shook my claw.
I bet you were desperate to give him a butch and Dutch.
Well, I sort of tried to do it, but I obviously had a big clawy hand, so I couldn't.
I wonder how many of them he did over the course of the weekend. Probably
Dutch
1,000.
and Dylan.
Yeah, I mean, I would have done it. I would if I'd have been on my own, because I did double photos with most. I think all of them, apart from you, and I had 2 people in. So, Chris said we met Rosario. Anthony Daniels was brilliant. He was rearranging us and
he's ageless,
telling me how he
isn't
tells
he?
everyone they should make a cardboard
He's ageless.
costume.
I kind of think he must have been 4 when he first did C3PO, because he's got like 112 and he's just ageless.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Jonas, the guy that played Chewbacca in the recent movies, and now is playing the Jedi Master Wookieean Acolyte. I met him. He was, again, lovely. He was trying to talk to me as I've been pushed out the door by the security. Andy Serkis. He was fucking wonderful, really nice. Anyone else I've missed?
Has he learned to swim yet?
No. Oh, my God. That was, again, highlight. Just like the celebration fans just love it, don't they? They love anything that they can do a march. Because I always do like the what's his face with the ice cream thing. That's a march I always do. Now they're doing the one way out march for the whole thing. Like every time someone pops up, so that was super cool. But yeah, the panel, the Hasbro thing was good. I got my celebration
right at front for that as well, weren't we? For the Hasbro panel.
Oh God. Yeah, we were, and I'm not even going to talk about the story. If Chris wants to say it, he can, but it makes me sick. So
I'm going to tell it. Because it's horrendous. So basically, we were sitting these 2 seats right at the front, and we sat there. It was starting at 4, and we sat there from about 3:10. We sat down, and then at a minute to 4, they said, "Can you just everyone shuffle in, just to make sure we got enough seats." And so our row shuffled, and we moved 1 seat across. And that was at a minute to 4. It started at 4. At 4:10, they said, just so you know, we're giving away a HasLab skiff. Like their very first Star Wars HasLab, I believe. And it's worth like, I don't know, £1,000 thousands of pounds on eBay, and it was they had 2 of them to give away, and they were taped under your seat, and they were taped under the seat. Colin moved.
I knew it was going
off.
as soon as you said that.
Yeah, so he'd been.
I felt physically fucking sick.
I could feel my heart sink the minute you said about HasLab Pride worth £1,000. I was like, I bet it was on your seat.
Yeah, it was on Colin's seat, and he moved off, and a journalist sat there to record it, and he got like, am I even allowed to? Is this right? And then the guy from Hasbro was like, yeah, sure, of course, man, you won it, well done. And Colin's like, I want to die right now. He was saying it, I want to die, and I corpsing. It was just out of like.
You were just laughing in my face, Chris.
The ludicrous nature. You were laughing as well, but it was like laughing through pain. It was just farcical. That's what I was like, Paul. It was just like, I cannot believe that this has happened to anyone in the room, but to Colin, it was devastating.
And then for the rest of the panel, I had to pretend I was happy, clapping at this fucking
I know
wonders.
you, in your head, you might have to edit this bit out. I know you in your head. There could have been a point where you could have just stood up, gone, you cunt! I can just imagine. I'm surprised they didn't see that on social media somewhere.
Honestly, I wanted to kill him. I had to keep looking at Chris, because if I looked at him, I would have fucking punched him.
It was
he fucking just walked in. They fucking called it out. He put his hand on it and fucking pulled the ticket out. I was like, fuck you!
But at the same time, Colin's like, I could feel it. I could feel it under my chair as well.
Yeah, I put my hand on it and felt something. I thought it was a bit of tape. Fucking cunt. I spoke to the people next to us, and I was like, he was sitting there for an hour. They were like, oh, that's brilliant. Well done to that guy. Do you know him? And I was like, no. My mate was sitting there for an hour. And they went, oh, that's really unlucky, isn't it? And then just kept clapping. And I was like, oh, it's your fault for moving down. I almost didn't move, though, because I almost thought, well, fuck them. If someone wants to come in, they can come down. Because the reason we sat on the end was because I had my costume.
Next time, take the chair.
And then he fucking put his tripod on my costume.
When you move.
The cunt.
He sold it already, I bet.
Fucking, I was so angry. And then, of course, they've got one on display, the whole fucking convention as well.
It is huge.
Was it the Razor Crest?
Like 87 long.
No, it's a TVC skiff.
The barge.
Fucking...
Yeah, the barge, yes.
It's massive.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Huge.
You know what? He's giving it to his 9-year-old nephew who's not interested in Star Wars, and they've broken it already.
Yeah, it's covered
that's
in
where it's
paint.
gone.
Oh,
my God. Oh my God.
But yeah, so it was a really good weekend other than that. It was. I felt so bad.
What are the odds?
It was all when the
6,700,000
announced. So I was watching that.
Oh dear. Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, I got over it.
Clearly.
I'll probably never use that again against any point in the next 2 to 3 minutes.
I mean, they might as well fucking put General Grievous under there. You know what I mean?
Oh no.
But no, look, the whole thing was amazing. Like I say, all the panels were great. The sets. I tell you what, I did love this year, and I didn't get to spend much time on it. Was the live. I think what the biggest difference with this con is they have that live stage. It's right in the middle of the show floor, and it's just so accessible. Doesn't matter if you can't get in the panel. Doesn't matter if you can't. Literally at any time in the day, they are doing something on that stage, and they stream the big panels there. The guests come out. There's at least one guest every hour, like big guests go up on there. So at any time you can just stand there and be entertained, and it's just and like the atmosphere.
But it's clever because that's a good distraction technique as well, isn't it? So if you are waiting for someone, you've got entertainment at the same time as well.
Yeah. Well, I was waiting for you, and I got to watch the whole EA panel with Star Wars Jedi Survivor on it, with Cameron, what's his name there. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
The last trailer get revealed. John Favreau was up there. It was brilliant.
The one thing I will say is definitely, check out the YouTube channel, because the StarWars.com one for YouTube, because they do have all the live streams and they do have most of the panels. To be fair, I haven't seen all the panels being put up yet. They normally put them all up, or most of them, so I hope they will. But
If you watch the Hasbro one, you can kind of hear Colin crying in the background.
Yeah. But what you can do if you watch day 4 live stream, in the first, so literally it's got like just where they're waiting for it to start. But once it starts, for the first 10 minutes, you can see nothing but my Admiral Akbar face and my hand going like this, because I am literally right behind them, and I am being very tall and very at the
Brilliant.
front. So it's funny just to watch my hand going up and down like Zippy.
Awesome.
Yeah, and obviously you can see some of overlap. So check that out, because that again made my day.
Excellent.
See
That's
himself.
funny.
Yeah, it was
Well
brilliant.
done, boys. I'm
It's
glad
really
you enjoyed
good.
it. Just a bit, yeah. That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Had a great time.
Oh,
Japan,
one thing we've got to say: the next one's Tokyo 25.
You know what Tokyo's the home of?
It's like
Hot
$3,000 a
Toys.
person.
Yeah.
Is
Home
it?
of Hot Toys.
It comes out. It's the 18th of April 2025. So already
3-day event now, isn't it?
Yeah, just 3 days. I think I'm going to go.
You should do. So I was distracted now. I've just been outbid on eBay for £4 for a skiff barge. What the hell's that all about?
No, you bastard.
Oh my god. Oh no, that is fucking. I feel your pain. That is. Yeah, that's
Horrible.
sickening. That is like
Horrible.
having. That's like not putting your regular 6 numbers on this week, and it comes in.
Yeah,
Gutting,
it was
man.
gutting.
I'm good for
I was going. Right. Anyway, I can hear the cloister bells, so I'm going to set the TARDIS off. We're going to get spinning around. Hopefully, I'm going to go to Tokyo 2025. Let's
You
head
said
there,
that.
shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
But
I'd go. No, what I tell you, what you need to do is you need to go back 4 days and don't move seats.
I'll tell you what. Yeah,
Or
that's a good point.
get
I've got
put your
TARDIS,
cardboard
why am I
Grand
worried?
Inquisitor costume on, and then tell your cardboard Akbar don't move,
Don't.
Yeah.
move.
and pass me the 5/8 spanner.
So, guys, anything you want to quickly promote?
My Marvel show on YouTube. Thanks very much. That's it. Thank you.
Oh, Chris, you got something new?
Yes. So I finally started my YouTube channel, and I've broadened it a little bit from the Ghostbusters figure collecting that I was originally going to do. So come and see me at Geek Figure Fan, where I'll be uploading some reviews to various figures, and have possibly already uploaded a video to the Star Wars Celebration exclusive Darth Vader figure that was released. So go and see that at
Like
Geek
and
Figure Fan.
subscribe.
Like and subscribe and all that lovely stuff.
Yeah. Are you sponsored by Marvel Snap?
I hope so. I tell you what, if Marvel Snap come calling, absolutely. Give me all
Okay.
that Disney money.
That's brilliant. Well done, Christopher.
you.
I just want to tell you all to go to nerdynostalgia.co.uk, get my art, buy some cards. It's super brilliant. You know, there's loads of good stuff. If you decide that online's not for you, then you can go to Nerdbase at Battlebridge or Cirencester, and you can buy my cards there. And I think the Galactic Attic in Cardiff has got some of my cards. So get your hands on them, spend some money on them. That'd be wicked. Thank you very much. And I will be at London Film and Comic Con in July at London Olympia. So book your tickets for that and come see me there as well. With that, that's all I've got to say. So punch it, Chewy. I don't want to go. You've been fantastic. I've been fantastic. And all that stuff. Bye bye.